time machine and wait.
That's not a question!
Questions! I need answers!
Hello, everybody. Crow back again with another question and answer. I'm going to do one question in particular in this video, like I said I was going to do in the last question and answer video. This question was asked on April 4th, 2015 by Sam Lock 766, and it's a mouthful. This is, why do you think each Amiibo wave is getting worse and worse sales-wise? Jigglypuff was posted without warning and gone in minutes. GameStop in-store servers died, and Toys R Us reps said Greninja pre-orders would be between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and instead it was 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when people sleep. How am I supposed to get exclusives now without buying from eBay? Also, if you ran Nintendo, how would you fix this? And are scalpers really using bots and scripts to buy them up in the millisecond the pre-orders go up? And there's a lot of stuff going on in this question, and I'm sure that answering this stuff I'm going to ramble on, so that's why I made this own video. Plus, I'm kind of sick about talking about Amiibos every day, but that's what you got to do if you want to get the stuff. Yeah, honestly, when Amiibos were first coming out, I figured, oh, I'll just go to the store and get them as they come out. However, and right off the bat, the demand for Amiibos, crazy. And it's because of this crazy demand that's led to more of a demand and more people thinking they can buy Amiibos and sell them for a profit, regardless of what they are. So it makes it harder and harder to get them. The problem is that Nintendo doesn't really seem to be meeting the demand. They're probably thinking, oh, there's X number of Wii U's out there. These Amiibos were really meant for Smash Brothers. How many copies of Smash Brothers did we sell? Let's make about half of the amount of Amiibos or something like that. And they're like, oh, Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, these are going to be our most popular characters. Let's just keep pumping those out and keep putting them in stores. And, you know, they're always in stores. Okay. I don't know if I can, I'm going to be jumping all over the place on this one. I know it. So, Wave 2 came out. As soon as Wave 2 pre-orders came out, I'm like, okay, we got to pre-order all these now. Because what I was thinking is when Wave 1 came out, we could just go into the stores and get them. Honestly, if it wasn't for my wife, as a disclaimer here too, if it wasn't for my wife, I would have given up on Amiibos. My wife really, really, really wants to get all the Amiibos. And to date, we have been successfully able to do so. But Wave 2, we pre-ordered them all. The only one that got really screwed up was my Little Mac pre-order from Best Buy. That one got canceled after I'd pre-ordered it. In fact, I got the cancellation notification after it already went to retail. And Little Mac sold out in no time. So by the time I got my cancellation notice from Best Buy, there was no way I was going to be able to pick it up in store. Actually, a very small chance. But what wound up happening is my wife actually got on Craigslist and found somebody that was willing to sell it for $17. And she wound up giving it to me for a Christmas present. So that was Wave 2. Wave 3, this one was the one that had all the exclusives, I think, like Shulk. Now, thankfully, by the time Wave 2, those Wave 3 pre-orders came up, we ordered them all as quickly as possible. The only one we were not able to pre-order was Rosalina and Luma. And just hearing through the grapevine, we knew that Target was going to be starting to sell them on a certain day. We both went to 2 different Targets and waited for the store to open, and I barely got one. And my wife got one, so we had 2. But then what was funny was that later on in the day, orders up for Target showed up, and I tried to order one, and I wound up getting one there too. So we have 3 Rosalinas and Lumas. Now, these exclusive rare ones that we have extras of, I'm pretty much saving those in case there are other Amiibos that we're unable to get, and we could use them to trade with people, perhaps on Craigslist or something. That's what we're planning on doing with our extra ones. I mean, there was also the Gold Mario, and my wife wound up waiting at Walmart for 8 hours. She was like 6 hours, I think. She was like, right after work, went to Walmart that was open 24 hours, waited in line, and I actually showed up later, and I was number 15 in line. We knew they had 16, so we both got one of those. And then they wound up going up on Walmart's website again, and we ordered them again. So we have some extra ones. In fact, I already gave away one of the extra gold Marios we have. And whoever got it, might be watching this video now. I know they're subscribed to me. And I did it as a favor because they sent me something before. And I was like, at first I was just going to sell it to him for $15. And then when I actually went and met him, I'm like, you know what? No, you sent me that stuff. I appreciate it. There you go. Here's your gold Mario. Okay, so let's start looking in. We're on wave 4 now. Truth be told, we have everything for wave 4 pre-order. And when I'll go through your question a little bit more in detail at this point and kind of answer them as I go along. So Jigglypuff was posted without warning and gone in minutes. Now, before I go any further, there's one thing you need to know about, one rule you need to follow when talking about Amiibos, and that's the 190th rule of acquisition. Hear all, trust nothing. So yes, Jigglypuff was posted. Well, here's what's really messed up. Nintendo, April 1st, well, actually, let's go to the day before that. March 31st announced that they were having a Nintendo Direct on April 1st. April 1st, they announced what would be available in Wave 4 of Amiibos. The cat's doing something goofy over there. And then, that night, GameStop said that they would be... Okay, let's not talk about GameStop right now. Let's talk about Toys R Us. Not Toys R Us. Target. Target's Jigglypuff. They put that up, like, in the middle of the night. It was only available for 5 minutes, and it was sold out. Now, just because they sell out doesn't mean it will go up for pre-orders again. And it did. Now, I know you realize you asked this question on April 4th, which was 2 days after GameStop did their in-store pre-order thing. 3 days after the Nintendo Direct. But it was probably a week ago or so from when I'm filming this. It's probably a week and a half ago. So probably a week after, sometime a week after you posted this question, Target, it went up in the middle of the day. Pre-orders for Jigglypuff went up in the middle of the day. And they were up for a good 25 minutes. And anybody during that time period could have ordered. Now, I know 25 minutes is not a whole lot of time. But when you're considering that these things are selling out, pre-orders from different websites all over the place in like minutes, 25 minutes seems like a long time. And I was able to order one. I told my wife, and she was able to order one. How did I know about it? I'll get to that later. Because I wasn't sitting there at work refreshing Target's webpage. I was not doing that. I'll tell you that. So, yes, it went up. It was gone in minutes, but then it went up again. So, they may possibly go up again. Also, on the day of release, you can expect that page to go on the website to go up again. So either you can, get to Target right when they open on the day of release, and run to the electronics counter and maybe hope that there's not a whole big crowd with you or something, and you could possibly get it that way, or like with what happened with Rosalina, is later in the day the pre-orders will go up on their website again, and you're able to pre-order it. Okay, as for GameStop, now GameStop kind of screwed up here. They had well intentions, but they again, 190th rule of acquisition, hear all, trust nothing. They had posted a tweet the day before on April 1st saying that starting at for my time it was 2 p.m. Eastern time, I think it was like noon Pacific, you can pre-order Wave 4 Amiibos from GameStop in-store or online. Now what happened was, we scoped out the GameStop in the mall beforehand, and we talked to, this was maybe 10:30, okay? We talked to the guy who was in the store, and he's temporary store manager type deal. He was really nice. He knew all about the Amiibos. He read the description and told us that, oh, you know what, they're not going to be available online. They're only going to be available in stores, even though GameStop tweeted that they would be available online and in stores. They decided earlier that day that they were only going to be available in stores through web purchase. So we waited. We went out and came back around 11:30 and decided to wait. We were going to be the first people in line, so we were like, we're just going to hang out in the store. We're the first people in line, if you don't mind. And he was like, yep, totally fine with that. And when more people showed up, he told us, okay, you all can line up here. We're first, okay? But what GameStop, and I was checking Twitter and stuff on my phone and everything, GameStop didn't put out a subsequent tweet saying that they had changed their policy. So a lot of people were sitting at home, sitting at work, refreshing GameStop's webpage, waiting for these Amiibos to come out when they were never going to appear. So they got kind of screwed. Whereas the people in the store, some of us still got screwed because due to, for one, all the people on the website trying to access it, trying to find out when the Amiibo pre-orders for online was going to go up. GameStop's in-stores, point and service stores, whenever they buy online, they still have to connect to the internet to do that. And since they had a synchronized time all across the country to do that, GameStop bogged their own servers down as well. And they had to, well, my store didn't notice, but apparently they had a bundle where it was one SKU or whatever like that, and it would have added all the Amiibos all at once. I guess where I was, the guy didn't know that, and he was trying, for my order, I wanted one of everything. He was trying to add them one at a time, and when it came to adding Lucina and Robin, it wasn't working anymore. And he's like, you know what, I'm just going to process your order, and if Lucina and Robin come back up, I'll let you know. And this was like with a whole bunch of people behind me too. It took 2 hours to get my order processed. And when it got my order, I got everything except for Robin and Lucy. That includes the Splatoon ones. And then, NES exclusive, Wario, Pac-Man, and whoever else is in it. I can't really think of it right now. But we left and went to another GameStop to see. And that's when we found out the GameStop we were at was still using DSL. Whereas that GameStop was using cable. And they were having still problems, but not as many problems as getting orders through. And they were actually able to get 3 people through with the Robin and Lucina Amiibos. Now, I did complain, as it were. Now, if you go to GameStop's website, it doesn't really seem like there's a number to call or an email address to send complaints to. But since I had my ticket for the ones I had ordered already, you can go and do a survey for any receipt you have. And I did the survey, and I gave them really low scores. And I said, yes, contact me. And I explained the whole situation in the survey. Last week, they called me back. And I explained, you know what, I know it was good intentions. That I know why they changed their minds and had it in store only. They wanted people to go into stores. And it also would have limited the number of people that would have been able to do the pre-orders. And if you were dedicated enough to go in stores. By the way, I should have mentioned that I didn't take off of work because of this. I just happened to have the day off of work. If I wouldn't have taken the day off of work to go to GameStop. My wife had the day off as well. She probably would have done it. But I was talking to, sorry for that, it just popped in my mind. But I talked on the phone, and you know what he did? He said, you know what, we apologize, and we understand, but we have good news. I'll be able to add Lucina and Robin to your order now. And there you go. Even though I was not able to order it in store, they ordered it for me they just added to my order. I just needed to give them my credit card number so they could process it. Because I think I actually paid in cash at the time for for the rest of them when I was there. Because what's funny is at that time I didn't actually have my debit card because I noticed some fraudulent activity, so I had it canceled and I was getting a new one sent to me. It was in between that time. Anyway, so yeah, if you have a problem, I guess the point is here, if you have a problem, be sure to let your GameStop, Best Buy, whoever know that you have a problem. And sometimes they might be able to help you. So what else we got here? Oh, you know what? There's been some misinformation going on about the GameStop in-store servers dying it's not really that they were dead. They were really slow. Maybe it did crash. Maybe they did reboot. But the main problem is that the stores that were having difficulties had just really bad internet connection. They're still using DSL. And if you think about it, it's good enough most of the time. Because they don't really need to access the web from their in-store computers. They only need to submit their numbers or whatever at the end of the day, and it does it in the middle of the night. So the speed is not really a factor. But the higher ups at GameStop that decided to do this kind of deal, I think they were well intentioned. They just underestimated the capacity of their own systems. Now, if all their stores were running cable internet, I'm sure there would still be problems, but it would be much less of them. I mean, people, if you look up what was going on that day, people were going crazy. Overturned stands when they found out they were the first person in line. Some people were the first people in line at other GameStops and were not able to order anything. That just shows how much it sucks for those stores. I mean, it's not the employees' fault. It's rather their system that they were using. And they told me over the phone they're going to try and figure a better way to do it. I mean, normally they would have just done it right when the store opens. But the reason they did it in the middle of the day was because, and I can understand this, is because everything on the East Coast would have gotten sold before the stores on the West Coast even opened if they did it that way. So it was really unfair to the people on the West Coast. So they tried to make it more fair, make it more of the middle of the day. But you know what? Well, as well-intentioned as it was, it really didn't work out. Next up, Greninja pre-orders would be between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Yeah, again, here all, trust nothing. So yeah, we knew that too. But it was 3 a.m. It's true, 3 a.m. Eastern time. I think it was like 2 a.m. my time. 1 or 2 a.m. I think it was 2 a.m. So I think it would have been 4 a.m. Eastern time. I was asleep. My wife got woken up by a phone call from my friend who actually works night shift. And he called her to let her know Greninja went up at Toys R Us. So that's how we found out about that. She woke me up. So she was ordering from her phone. And I started to do that. And I'm like, my credit card's downstairs. And I ran downstairs in the middle of the night and made my order. So I was able to order a Greninja. My wife was able to order a Greninja. Those pre-orders were up for 15, 20 minutes, I think, before they all sold out. And just for fun, kind of, I went to Toys R Us when they opened just to see if they were doing pre-orders that day too, because, you know, they went up online. So I was like, hey, are they going to be doing pre-orders in store? And I got to Toys R Us and there was a crowd of people expecting pre-orders for Greninja, and it just wasn't happening. They still, to this day, the day I'm filming this, haven't put out their pre-order tickets for Greninja. And they're only going to be doing Greninja and one other one. I think maybe Wario or Pac-Man. I can't remember which one. Just because, you know what, Nintendo kind of is screwing over the retailers as well. They're promising them a certain number of Amiibos, and then they're not following up on that promise. Now, is it Nintendo's fault? Is it this port strike? I don't know. All I know is that the stores aren't getting the numbers that they're promising. So that's where you're getting pre-orders going through and then pre-orders getting canceled. And stores are in a tough spot, and they've gotten kind of shafted because of this several times again. So now stores are kind of unwilling to do pre-orders, or they're severely limiting their pre-orders now because they really don't know how many they're going to get. I mean, Nintendo may promise some X number, but they have already learned their lesson now, and they don't know if they're actually going to get that many. And they don't want to promise pre-orders to people that aren't going to get them, because then those people will just get mad at Toys R Us instead of the real issue, I think. So, how am I supposed to get exclusives now without buying from eBay? You can get exclusives without buying from eBay. Check Craigslist. If you have... also, I highly recommend maybe finding other people. Maybe your friend... I mean, it works for me because my wife is really into it. She's on top of it like that. And my friends are on top of it like that. And we all talk to one another. So, you know, one of us may miss something, but another person may be like, oh, we'll get it for you. I mean, we got a couple extra Jigglypuffs as well because my friends, they weren't able to get them when it went up. I was going to say something and now I forgot. But let's go on to what you said. Also, if you ran... Oh, I remember now. Also, follow things on Twitter. There's Amiibo News and Amiibo Alerts are 2 Twitter feeds that I follow, and I set them up specifically to alert myself as text messages just for those 2 accounts. Because, maybe I'm driving, my car will read me and alert me to text messages I get. So it'll read me those Twitter posts in case it's something that I might be interested in. I mean, seems like 80% of what they post is stuff that's not really relevant to me because they do worldwide things too. But occasionally, like the Greninja, no, not the Greninja one, the Jigglypuff pre-order going back up. That's how I found out about that through Twitter. And what's funny is that I just realized that I may have named this video Amiibos, and the reason I've gotten into the habit of calling Amiibos Amiibos is because that's how my car reads Amiibos. And if I remember, I'll try to record a clip of my car saying it. It's like, Amiibo alert, Amiibo news.
Please say a command.
Read message.
Message at Amiibo News. A few more days remain to register to win a Robin Amiibo. Amiibo, 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 Amiibo.
All right. Let's move on to, okay, if I ran Nintendo, how would I fix this? And our scalpers really using bots and scripts to buy them up, milliseconds, pre-orders goes up. I'll ask the latter question first. Are scalpers using bots and scripts to buy them up the millisecond the pre-orders go up? I want to say yes, but I don't know that for sure. I'm pretty sure there are scripts out there, plugins for Chrome, that will allow you to do that. Now, the problem is that I'm pretty sure that you would have to put in all that information accurately, otherwise it won't work. But if you do get all that information in there, and you're able to, do it all manually ahead of time, it would probably take a lot of work to do that. I would say yes. As soon as they go live, the script would just kick in, and you could get all your pre-orders in instantly. But I don't think a lot of people do that. I think that I don't know if a lot of people do that. It just seems like everything would need to go perfectly for it to go through. Now there is a solution to that. And it would be on the retailer's websites, and if they put in some kind of CAPTCHA code, I'm sure that would solve that problem. The problem is, though, it would just make it harder and for people to order anything online to do that. And I think the retailers would rather just sell their items rather than try and make it fair for everybody. Give me a second. Somebody's texting me. Okay, now if I was Nintendo, okay, by this point, they should have realized, the demand for Amiibos is far exceeding the demand for Wii U's. And they should pretty much up their production. But I can understand from their standpoint that they don't want to produce more Amiibos than they can sell because, they want to, they actually want to make a profit. They don't want some of them left over. And you know what? I've been hearing that, yes, there are going to be, like Marth, they're going to be redoing, and Meta Knight might be going for another run. So if you've missed out on Amiibos in the past, there's nothing saying that they won't make them again in the future, okay? So don't lose hope on that. But as for now, we don't really know. But here's what they should be doing, I would think, at this point. They should be able to accept pre-orders on their own website, okay? So these would just be for the ones that they haven't even manufactured yet. So if they haven't done Wave 5, if they haven't manufactured anything for Wave 5 yet, they should go on their website and say, okay, here are the Amiibos for Wave 5. You could pre-order them directly through us. And that way there's no limit to the pre-orders. Everybody who wants however many they want can order them. And then, have a ending date. Okay, pre-orders are getting cut off on this date. End pre-orders. So at that date, they have the number of pre-orders and they know what the demand is. and then they can manufacture that many, and plus however many they would want to put in the stores, and that way they're covered, I think, because I read an article, and pre-orders for Amiibos are pretty much a joke. They don't work like pre-orders. They work like reservations. When you pre-order something, that's supposed to give you an idea of the demand of something, and it's supposed to guarantee that you're going to get it. Like GameStop. That's why GameStop does pre-orders. If they have pre-orders, for example, Mortal Kombat 10, and 10 people come in and say, oh, I want a pre-order, they get 10 pre-orders. I don't know if I just happened to say 10, Mortal Kombat 10 and 10, and it kind of messed me up in my head. So let's say 10 people pre-order. They know that they need at least 10 to order at least 10 copies. So they'll order maybe 15 copies. So they have enough for the people to pre-order it, and then they have 5 on the shelf. That's how that works. And that's how these Amiibo pre-orders should be working. But instead, because of the stores taking the pre-order and not Nintendo, and the stores not knowing how many they're going to get, they have to limit the number of pre-orders they're taking. And once that limit is up, it's like you're reserving a spot to buy one. And once those spots are up, it's a free-for-all after that. Good luck trying to get it after that. So, yeah, that's what I would do if I was Nintendo. I'd take the pre-orders before the manufacturing date on their website. And that would solve with the scalpers, too, because everybody that would want one would have one. The scalpers would have nobody to sell it to, because everybody that would want one would already have one. So that's what I would do. And what's funny is a little thing I found crazy is that the problem too is that not the scalpers really, it's the people that are buying from scalpers. If the scalpers weren't making any money from the Amiibos, there wouldn't be this problem. But you have people going on eBay and spending $40 to $80 on these things just because. I don't know why. And to give you a little example of why people don't think this is a problem that are doing this, when I was in line at that GameStop, there were a couple kids behind me, and I overheard them talking to somebody else in the line saying that, oh, they got the gold Mario, but they didn't pay the $80 like they saw it on eBay for. They got a good deal on it. They only got it for $40 on eBay. And I stood there shaking my head like, no, the actual retail price is $15. And you paid, hasn't even been that long. It's been like a month. And right off the bat, you're paying $40 for it through a scalper, and you're happy about it. No. If we happen to miss out on an Amiibo, I don't know, I might go as high as 20 if I really want it. But there's no way I'm paying $40, $80. I would just, at that point, say, never mind. I guess I don't get that one, or I'll wait for it to be released, or like I said, we have these extra ones now. Perhaps we could work out some sort of trade. That's why we have them. And that is all I want to talk about for Amiibos for a long time. Okay, no more Amiibo talk for me for a long time. Not until I actually get Wave 4 Amiibos, and then I might make a video for that. But I'm purposely trying not to make videos about Amiibos, and like I said, I like calling them Amiibos now. Yeah, I'm kind of sick about talking about it, so I'm gonna end this video. Probably it's been going on for a long time. I got my counter at 31 minutes, but I know that most of that time was me spending on the phone or something else. So anyway, if you're not sick about Amiibos by now, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sick of it, and that's why I just wanted to make a separate video for it. That's all. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to edit this video another day. See y'all next time. Bye. Amiibos.